Alright, so now let's go ahead and create a new Python file. Okay, and so I'm going to hold down Control, click Branches, New Python file. I'm going to call this if statements. We know about our Boolean operators. We know how to create a question, a Boolean expression, which is either true or false. So now I want to go ahead and introduce an if statement. And an if statement, what is an if statement? An if statement is a branch that chooses whether, or let me put here, decides whether or not to execute a block of code based on a Boolean expression. Okay, so that's kind of a long way to say it, but it's easier for me to show you how that works. Okay. So how do you write a if statement? You say if, and then you do the Boolean expression, colon, and then you have your code here. Okay, that's how you write a if statement. So let's go ahead and take what we have in our last program. Okay, let me go ahead and copy this. Paste it right here. And instead of printing here, I'm going to print right inside my if statement. Okay, and instead of having my Boolean expression here and saved in my answer variable, I'm going to take that Boolean expression and I'm going to paste it right into the if statement. Okay, so how does this code work? It's going to have me enter in a number for my age, save it in age. So let's say I enter in 19. It's going to come into my if statement, and it's going to, this if statement, the way it works is only do line 7 if this Boolean expression is true. Okay, so here I don't need to print out true or false here. Right? I could just simply print out you are legally an adult, because if this is true, it's going to do this statement. If this is not true, it's going to skip line 7 and go to line 8, okay, and then end our program. All right. Now let me show you that that's true by saying end of program. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this. Oh, I think, yeah, this is the running the Boolean expressions file. So I need to come here, hit Control, hit Run If Statement. Now it's going to ask me for my age. I'm going to put in 3. I'm just a little baby. And it just says end of program. Okay, I run it again and I say 21. And it says you are legally an adult. End of program. So how does the if statement work? It checks the Boolean expression, and if it's true, it will do the body of the if statement. And how do we know what's in the body of the if statement? Well, you see here how this is tabbed in. The tab, that's actually a tab. It's not 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? I didn't press space 4 times to do that. I pressed the tab button, and it goes like that. Right? So what does tab signify? It means this is the body of this if statement. And how does the if statement work? If the Boolean expression is true, it will execute the body. If the Boolean expression is false, it will not execute the body. Okay, so the body can be multiple lines of code long. It could be as many lines of code as you would like. Okay, it doesn't have to be just one line, but every line needs to be indented. You see that? Okay, all right. So that is our program, and I guess here maybe we could do one more before I ask you to do one yourself. Okay, so let's go ahead and change this up, and I can say enter the year you were born. Okay, and I'm going to put here age. I guess that's the same thing, right? And so I could say if the year you were born is less than 2000, you could print out something like you are at least 20 years old. That follows, right? Because we're now in the year 2020. So if the year that they were born is less than 2000, then that means their age is like they were born in 1999 maybe, 1995 maybe, right? And if you take 2000 and you subtract 1995 from it, you will get 25. Okay, so that means if this is true, then you are at least 20 years old. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this and see if it actually works. I'll run it, and I'll say I was born in 1455. Hit enter. I'm at least 20 years old. That's true. I'm at least 500 years old. So let's run it again and use a number that is more appropriate. And let's say 2003 is when I was born. I'll hit enter, and it just ends the program. It does not say you are at least 20 years old. Alright, so I think we went over this pretty well, and in the next challenge exercise I'm going to ask you to make your own if statement.